dear families. Good evening. How are you doing? My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajamma, and I thank you all for joining me this evening, Monday, the 15th November 2021. Again, how are you? And I hope your day has been lovely. I welcome you to Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Here in Adult Conversations, you get to give all reason on the subject matter without judging. Adult Conversations runs every Monday through Thursday, 9 to 11 p.m., because we are here to break the culture of silence. So, if you have a story you want us to bring to the family of Adult Conversations, please send your story along with your name and contact number to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537, along with your name and contact number. Please don't forget that. Tonight on Adult Conversations, he can't manage funds. Manage funds. My name is Pelumi. My husband is very negligent. He rarely comes home and he doesn't take care of the kids. He doesn't know how they feed or go to school. He blames it on the poor salary he gets. I think his problem is management. I've told him to support with the little that he has, but he doesn't listen. So please, what do I do? Again, Pelumi is speaking tonight and she's saying, my husband is very negligent. He rarely comes home and he doesn't take care of the kids. He doesn't know how they feed or go to school. He blames it all on the poor salary that he gets. I think his problem is management. Pelumi says, I've told him to support with the little he has, but he doesn't listen. Please, what do I do? Let's bear in mind that Pelumi is 35 years of age and she sells food for a living. Her husband is 38. He's a police officer by profession and they have 3 children. The numbers to call to give Pelumi advice tonight, the number to call is 07000 917 917. Again, 07000 917 917. Or you can send a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. And you can listen wherever you are in the world via the stream link www.wfm917.com. You can also watch live on Facebook and YouTube at WFM917. Watch live on Facebook at WFM917, also on YouTube as well with the same handle. Now, please, when you call, ensure that you turn off the volume of your radio. Please do that for me so that we can have a smooth flow of conversation without any interference and unnecessary interruptions. Also, when you call in, please make sure to keep your advice short, simple, and constructive. Keep your advice short, simple, and constructive. Please keep your advice short, simple, and constructive. Thank you very much. The best way to be a part of this conversation, if you're not already a part of it, is to join the WhatsApp family, the Adult Conversations WhatsApp family. And the best way to do that, or the only way to do that, is to send your information, and that's your name and contact number, indicating interest in joining the group via WhatsApp messaging. Send that information via WhatsApp messaging to 0703 175 6537. Again, your name and contact number indicating interest in joining the group to 0703 175 0703 175 6537 via WhatsApp. Starting off tonight off of the WhatsApp group is Francis from Ibafu. Francis says, good evening to all the Adult Conversation family members. Happy New Week to each and every one of us. May we be blessed beyond this week in Jesus' name. My advice for you tonight is that you continue talking to your husband, accompany with prayers, and he will listen to you. And that's from Francis from Ibafu. Um, okay. And that's about it, actually. That's from Francis from Ibafu. So we're still taking messages, we're still taking calls, most definitely. And the number to call is 07000 917 917. I'm aware that we have a little bit of network challenges here and there. So please, when you do call in, I apologize in advance in case we can't hear you properly. But if we can't hear you properly, please keep calling, or you can use the alternative and send in text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Ibrahim from Ikorodu.
Ibrahim from Ikorodu.
I'm not even healthy.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
I can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you this evening?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
How are you this evening?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm great. Thank you very much for calling.
Yeah, welcome. Have a
Okay.
nice day.
Talk to me, Ibrahim. Talk to me. What's happening? All right. So I can hear you when you call. Please let's take advantage of that and let's have a smooth flow of conversation. If I can't hear you, if for any reason I need you to speak louder or be more audible, I will definitely say that. So please let's just flow with the conversation so that we don't waste time and we can give the advice that is needed tonight. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you? Hello. Okay, again, 07000 That's the number to call. 07000 Balumi is speaking tonight. And Balumi is saying, I think my husband doesn't know how to manage funds. She's saying her husband doesn't know how to manage funds. And apart from that, or she's saying she thinks that her husband doesn't know how to manage funds. He's a police officer by profession. And according to him, his excuse is the poor salary that he gets. And by excuse, if you're thinking excuse for what? He doesn't know how they feed, he doesn't know how to manage funds. What is your advice to me? Please do well to call back if you can. Do well to call back if you can. So Palumi is saying she sells food for a living. She sells food. I don't know on what scale this is. So Palumi, just as you're listening, please answer some of our questions. You and your husband have been married for how long? We need to know that and how long you've been married for. The fact that you have 3 kids does not particularly give us a great, accurate idea of how long you've been married for. So let us know how long you've been married for. Let us know if things have been like this since the beginning of the marriage or since before the marriage. Has your husband always been the kind of person who doesn't contribute financially to the well-being of the home? Has he always been the kind of person who's who gives excuses constantly over the fact that he doesn't earn enough and so cannot contribute? Hello, good evening. Hello,
Hello.
good evening. How are you doing?
Hello.
Good evening. I can hear you. How are you tonight? Hello. Okay, so I did say that I'm aware that there are network challenges at the moment, which is contributing right now to how the phone lines are. So please, if you can't get across to me from the phone line, just send a message. Send a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. I'll take that again over the phone line. Just send a text so that we can still do our best to give we can still do our best to give Pelumi some much needed advice tonight. Over the course of previous conversations on adult conversations, we've had so many situations where people will call in and say that I don't think that any husband in his right mind will not want to contribute to the well being of his family. Alas, here's one man who does not contribute. Does he want to? I don't know. Does he contribute? He does not. And this is according to Pelumi. who says she thinks that the problem is not the fact that he doesn't have enough, which is his excuse. She's saying, I don't think that it's that he doesn't have enough, which is his excuse, because he's saying, I don't earn a lot of money. You know the situation with police, with salary as a police officer in this country. He's saying I don't earn a lot, but she's saying even though you don't earn a lot, you're still mismanaging what little that you have. Quote and unquote. Palima says, I have told him to support with the little he has, but he doesn't listen. And that's what she's saying. He doesn't listen. So she's saying in this case that what's the challenge? Why is he not listening? And what do I do? She literally asked, please, what do I do? So we need to give Palumi some advice to that. She is in a marriage where she's shouldering all the financial burden of the family. And no one should have to go through that. No one should have to go through that in this case. And being somebody who sells food for a living, who doesn't have that much financial wherewithal in the first place, she needs support. Now, not only does she not have as much financial wherewithal, she has 3 children. So maybe if she had one child, we would say, okay, you don't have enough, but you can still make do with what you have with this particular children, with this particular child. But she has 3 children with this man, and he doesn't contribute to their well-being. That is definitely something to be worried about. Now, I know we like to hear from both sides, or we like to how do I put this now? We like to analyze all sides of the story, but this is somebody who's saying that her husband doesn't contribute. So, as much as we would like to also explore the possibility that maybe he does, but in a very, very little way, she's saying he doesn't know how they feed, he doesn't know how they do anything, basically. He doesn't know how they go to school, he doesn't know how they do anything. And this is because he's not contributing financially to these things that they do. 3 children. They go to school, they have books, they eat, they buy clothes. She's saying he doesn't know how they do this because he doesn't contribute. What should she do? That's the question. What should she do? So, if you have any advice for Kwalumi, now would be an awesome time to call in and give Belumi some much needed advice. She's at that point where she really doesn't know what to do. She doesn't want to be in a point, she doesn't want to be at a point where she is torn. She's torn between her husband, her children, her work, the progress of her marriage. She doesn't really know what to do and she needs advice. So call in and give her some advice this evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you this evening?
I'm fine.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm Vivian calling from Moray.
Vivian, thank you for calling this evening.
Yes.
Vivian, are you a first-time caller?
Hello?
Are you calling us for the first time?
Network.
Can you
Hello?
hear me? Can you hear me, Vivian?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you now.
Are you a first-time caller?
Yes, I'm a first-time caller.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Great. All right, Vivian, what do you think? What do you think is the case here? And what should Palumi do
Yes,
about this situation?
To me, I will tell her, since she has something doing, I will tell her to continue with what she's doing. Yes. At least the little she can to provide for her children. She should continue what she's doing. Because I feel that the husband outside, he has someone outside. Since he's not taking care of them, he has someone. So let her continue with what she's doing. God will help her.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vivian, for calling.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
First caller of the evening, and Vivian says, focus on what it is that you're doing. Focus on what it is that you're doing. Since you have a means of income, you have a business that you're running. So she says to focus on that. We'll be taking more calls and more messages. This is Adult Conversations.
Our friend Oliver is what you call a man with a huge appetite. Gigantic, actually. And if there's one phrase we have come to know Oliver for, it is this.
More data, please.
No matter what we offer him.
More data, please.
So, guess what we did? We heard Glow created new data plans for people like Oliver, and we got him exactly that. And guess what Oliver said?
Excuse me, please, is this all for me? Only me?
Now, Oliver certainly has more than enough data. All thanks to the Glow Mega Data Plans.
With the longer validity you on Glow Mega Data Plans, you can work from home with ease, run your business better, download non-stop, stream music and movies endlessly, learn online, and share data with anyone. No worries. Get 225 gigabytes at 30,000 naira for 30 days, 425 gigabytes at 50,000 naira for 90 days, and 1 terabyte at 100,000 naira for a year. Dial star 777 hash now to start enjoying these mega plans.
Glow Unlimited.
Radio Doctor on WFM 91.7 every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. brings you medical experts specialized in women's health.
If you're a 28-day cycle person, just count forward on your day 14, you would ovulate.
Call in to get free consultation on women's health on 07000 917 917 and 090 256 25455. You can send in questions, cases, and related contributions on social media. Twitter and Instagram at WFM917. Text and WhatsApp to 070-317-56537. You can listen live online on www.wfm917.com. Radio Doctor, Nigeria's first free consultation radio health program on WFM 91.7.
Sports is taking off with a new flight on WFM with the fine voices of Macaulay and crew on Sports Radio. Flex with talk, business, and entertainment in women and men's sports. Enjoy hot takes in sports action, events, interviews, and fan discussions. Catch up with latest in rugby, basketball, cricket, athletics, golf, tennis, and other sports. Chill with Macaulay and crew from 7 to 8 p.m. on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Saturdays. Real sports, real stories, real fun on Sports Radio.
Tax Radio. Woman Radio 91.7. Mondays, Fridays from 5:30 p.m.
On your Women Radio WFM 91.7. This is still Adult Conversations, and if you're just joining us, welcome again. This is where we discuss real life issues and matters of the heart. This is where we discuss real life issues and we share matters of the heart. So I need you to participate by calling the number 07000 And if you do want to send in messages, one way to do that would be to contribute, send your messages to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. We have some messages in, and this one is coming from Emilia Elijah. Emilia Elijah says, My question to Belimi is, has the husband been like this? If yes, why did you marry him? Because a man that will not take care of his family, you will know from the beginning of the relationship. And again, you know how your husband is. You still went ahead to give birth to 3 kids. Well, my advice to her is simple. Continue doing whatever you're doing. God will open doors for you. That's from a prayer and patience. I pray God also bless your business every day for you in Jesus' name. All right, those are 2 messages telling us. One of them is saying, if you knew that he was, you still marry him? And then why did you go ahead to have 3 children for him even after you did marry him in the first place? Another one is saying, God will just keep blessing your business, continue doing whatever it is that you're doing. Now, let's understand the fact that this is not an old couple. This is not an old couple. We're not talking about a couple that are in their early 40s or early 50s. This is a pretty young couple on some level. Pelumi is 35. Her husband is 38. So if this is happening at this point with 3 children, they may not have more children, but is this how it's going to keep going? Is this how it's going to keep going? What do you advise Pelumi to do?
Oh,
Hello, good evening.
good evening.
Chichi, how are you today?
Fine. Is it something?
Yes, it's me. It's me. How are you?
Why did your voice changed? Oh?
It did?
I said your voice changed. I didn't even know that it's something I singing because I didn't start from the beginning.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
But it's me. It's me, my sister. I am the one.
Okay. My advice to Pelumi is, since it is like this, she should face her business and take care of her kids and pray about the situation. So you understand? You understand me?
I'm listening.
Because some men are like that. I have one of them as, for example, my friend's husband. Even if when they are coming with money, they will branch out Baba Ijebu. They will pray Baba Ijebu. They will drink. At the end of the day, you will not see any money in their hands. When they enter the house, they will tell you you can see things. Because even if you cannot tell me that you cannot be dropping off to your wife, cannot be doing anything. So I believe it's prayer that can do it. So these are my advice. Some men are like that. They will spend the money on the road and come home with empty handed. There is nothing we can do. It's only God that can do all things. I believe with God all things are possible. So that is my advice for her.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chichi. Thank you for calling. Good night. Okay. And that's Chichi. Chichi is telling us that she should keep praying. She should keep praying because there are men who just don't take responsibility, who even when they have, they squander the money on doing other things like playing Baba Jabu and gambling and doing all of that. That does not link or help or benefit anyone apart from themselves. So at the end of the day, they have this money, but they spend it and it doesn't benefit any other person. Nobody else sees the money. Their families don't see the money. At the end of the day, they've squandered it all even before getting home. So she's saying, just keep praying. God can still change him. God can still change him. And she also said, make sure that you're practicing family planning so that you don't have more children at this point and you can actually focus on the 3 children. Thank you very much for that, Chichi. The number still to call is 07917 917. 07917 If you're having any form of challenges reaching the phone line, you can just send a text. I know it's not as expressive as the phone when you can actually speak and air your view, but it would be very helpful for us to get your advice, for Pelumi to get your advice regardless on if you can really express yourself, because it helps even when we read text messages as well. So thank you in advance for that. So at this point, it's concerning that we're saying she should pray. Prayer is the key. We were taught that song when we were very little, and I do not think on any level that the import of that song has reduced on any level. By that song, I mean prayer is the key. Prayer is the key. Prayer is the master key. Jesus started with prayer and ended with prayer. Prayer is the master key. We're all aware of the fact that prayer can do and undo, and prayer can actually change things. But even the Bible says faith without works is dead. Is there any work that can be attached to this prayer that can get Pelumi's husband to be able to take responsibility for his family? Not for anybody else's family, but for his family. What can be done? Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Tony. I'm calling from Lagos, Ikorodu.
Doyin from Ikorodu. Doyin, thank you for calling.
I'm a first-time caller anyway.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. All right, Doyin, what do you think about this situation? What do you think that Pelumi can do?
I want to just, not just much about this person part.
Okay.
I think this woman thinks that we let's start our husband. Fine, we need to pray, yeah, we don't need to pray, all of that. So when it comes now, you don't have to apply common sense. You know that this man is not a responsible man. He had first time with him. He still not showing his responsibility. He had the second one with him. And again, because then he said, now you're not listening to his advice. When is the person, when you're having so many children with you, the person can stop at one side and think of that child ourselves and don't struggle for ourselves. Instead of having 3 children now, it's becoming.
Okay. So I was actually about to interject at this point or at that point before the phone line got caught. Blame the woman for having that amount of children her for anything because are they also having children for herself? It's possible that this was the entire plan from day one. It's possible that he used to actually give her money before. It's possible that they used to live a better life before, and then things suddenly took a turn for the worst or for worse. So we really don't know the details of this situation, which is why I asked earlier that is this how it has always been? Or is this something that recently started? Is this something that has always been this way before you got married? Did you know that this was a man who was earning so little that he would not be able to contribute? Did the subject of finances come up at all before you got married? And did anything change in the course of the marriage that influences this particular situation that you're in? Hello, good evening.
Hello, Sonto.
Good evening. Thank you for calling.
How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much. What's your name?
This is Nathaniel Jedina from Dale.
Nathaniel Ojediro, thank you so much for calling. It's good to put a voice to the messages.
My advice to that my sister tonight is that he should go to the place of work where their guy is, at least there is DPO in that station. So he should explain and tell the DPO, you see that you don't pay by husbands. So as a result of that, the DPO will call him and say, Oga, what happened? This is your wife here. So why is it that you don't give money at home? Then they will tell us what the reason is all about. Because it is against the law of a policeman in this place, at least with the little he's earning, he's supposed to be able to take care of the family somehow to some extent. But not taking care of the family at all, I think that's a crime for himself as a police officer. So, thank you. God bless you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nathaniel. Thank you for calling. Okay, so Nathaniel is saying that Pelumi should go to his workplace. That's the station that he works in, report him to his superior, and let them know that her husband does not contribute financially. He doesn't bring money home. He doesn't contribute in any way to the well-being of of her and the children. And she should try and get his superior to interfere in this subject. Now, I said earlier that when you call in, please make sure you turn off the volume of your radio, turn off your radio so we can hear you. We can hear feedback and interference, and it doesn't make for a smooth conversation at all. So please let us do better. Okay, so hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Darlington.
And good evening to all other conversations family. My name is Dickie Ben.
Dickie Ben. Why does everybody's voice sound different tonight?
Thank you. How are you?
Thank you very much for calling. Dickie Ben, can you turn down the volume of your radio or turn off the volume of your radio?
It's completely turned down. Can I turn it off? Is it better now?
It's a little bit better now. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I turned it off completely. I think the feedback is from your station anyway.
Yes. It's being worked on.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I turned back the radio off completely. It's not even, I didn't even know what the volume. I just turned it off completely.
Okay.
Yeah. So can I continue?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to say a big thank you to Ojediran. Mr. Ojediran. He made a very powerful point. His assertions, I think, are very, very relevant to what he has said. The police officers, I think they have what they call POA, as Police Officers Wives Association. Okay? Yes. If it comes to the point that the DPO, as the officer in charge of the very station the man is working, is not able to talk to the man very well, I think the POA can handle it. Okay?
Okay.
Keep in mind that hello, are you there with me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bear in mind that the woman will present it that it is the children that are actually protecting the attitude of their father, not the woman herself.
It is the children that are protecting.
It is the children that are protesting the attitude.
All right.
Yes, and that is why the woman has come to save the man's job, his own integrity, and to save the image of the police. That's number one. Then the second thing I would like her to do, try and see how you can manage that man, even with the little she's taking home. Try and see how you can manage him. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that?
I was about to ask you.
Yes. I am looking at a situation where the man can begin to do with you. It is less for you to convince him that let him put a certain amount of money, if it is monthly or daily basis, that you are going to put this money aside for him to run the home. So that at the end of the month, you will bring it up and tell him how much you'll be able to save and how much the money is bringing for the upkeep of the house and for the children. Okay?
Okay.
And having said that, I would like the woman also to bear in mind that most times what our policemen take home is not enough. Sometimes I have been very close to some of these policemen. Chichi was talking about them going to play Babu Jabu. It is not just Babu Jabu. Before the month ends, a lot of them would have collected with it. But it's much more higher than their salary. Sometimes this money will be deducted at first. As they are paying them, they have settled Mama Sikira, Babadis, Aruna, and so on and so forth. By the time they go home, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 will go home with them. All right? The way when you pay your worker very, very well, your worker will know how to defend you. even with his own life. But in a situation where the police women are neglected, unfortunately, the NSA have not been able to solve this issue. We still have this thing like a decimal, a recurring decimal.
Unfortunately.
So I'm appealing to our government to look into the welfare of the police and see how these men and women can be taken care of, because they have families. You just heard what this man is saying. 3 families join with a man. That's 5. Yet they're not taken care of. They're not even talking about the educational, way of, progressing in life. This is just basic things of how to feed and to clothe. Okay? So please, try and see how the poor can come into you out. God bless you sometimes, our listeners.
Thank you so much. Deacon Ben, before you go, let me ask you a question. So about the Ajo point that you made, you said she should try to convince him to put aside a certain amount of money, either daily or monthly, so that the money can accumulate and it can be used for something productive within the household. Now, I'm thinking, isn't that somebody who is willing to even drop that amount of money in the first place? Somebody who is making that money available, or making the thought of that money available in the first place, that you'll be able to say that, oh, okay, my husband, I know they paid you, I know they'll be paying you soon, so why not let's do this, why not let's do that? Do you think that sounds like the scenario that Palumi is in?
You know what the Bible says? That wisdom is the principal thing. Okay? And, women generally are considered to be very... It is not an issue that you have to confront him, no. Devise an ingenious means to convince this man that you are going to be... He finds it difficult to save. That you will tell him, it is left for you to lay out how you are going to do this. It is left to convince him. If it is possible, like I said, the poor police officers, women, tell him how Mr. A officer, tell him how Officer B will benefit from this. And if you're able to convince him, I am sure, even if the man is bringing home 20,000 at the end of the day,
he will still be able to do something
of that amount can go into savings, and you will be his manager. Okay, that's the angle I'm looking at.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Deacon Ben. Thank you for
calling. All right, yeah. God bless you. All right.
Okay. A number of points made by Deacon Ben. He mentioned first that he was completely in support with Mr. Ojedunron's advice earlier, which was to report her husband to his superior and let them know what's happening, let them call him in for conversation and just give him advice, basically confront him over not taking care of his children, the negligence, and just basically give him advice on how that goes. He also said that the POA, and that is the Police Officers' Wives Association, can also play a part in this. So she should approach them, or she should have a conversation with them, or she find a liaison with them in a way that benefits her. And then she can get them to give her advice and fashion a way that her husband can benefit from some of their processes and decision-making systems, regardless of how it works, particularly when it's an association set aside to take care of the wives and children. So he said it should be put forth in a way that it's explained that it's the children who are protesting against their father's finance, put aside some money and save over time. They call that ajo. That is a Yoruba term for it, but I'm sure people who are not even Yoruba know what ajo is. It's just that process of saving over time. And at the end of the day, you get the full amount of what you've been saving and you can put it into good use as a bulk money, as a bulk amount. And that is what he's trying to say, that Pelumi, as a wise wife, should convince her husband, find an ingenious way to do it, get him to understand that this is for not just for her benefit, but for his benefit as well. So maybe when he puts it to him in such a way that he understands that, okay, at the end of the week or at the end of the month or at the end of the year, he can have some money to be able to spend and buy some things for himself. He can see the need to be able to do that. He can see the need to be able to do that. So these are Deacon Ben's points so far, and very valid points, I must add. Thank you very much, Deacon Ben, for this. But I want to hear from you. 4 minutes past the hour of 10 on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. Prayer has mentioned the fact that she can report him to his superior has been mentioned. The fact that she should just continue doing what she's doing in regards to finances now, like paying the bills, taking care of her children, making sure they go to school, and also mentioning the job point of view, getting him to save that money to different schools of thought so far. But I would like to hear from you. I would like to hear from you. So just call in. Go ahead and call and send a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. No woman ever wants to be in this situation where you're without a supportive husband. And when women say supportive husband, in a lot of cases, it's viewed as maybe in line with her dreams, with her vision, with her goals, with her ambition. But also, another important part when it comes to support is finances for the family that we have both built. So we can't both have children. We can't both build a family and then you leave one person to keep and sustain that family. It's selfish behavior. And if it's truly a function of the fact that he does have some money, I say some money because she clearly stated that he doesn't have a lot of money, and that's his excuse. But we also are aware of the financial situation with police officers. Dickin Ben also did say that this was an appeal from him to the government to be able to work on the welfare package of the police. Remuneration for the police needs to be heavily taken care of and urgently taken care of, because this is a ripple effect of all of that. What do you think can be done? What do you think Pelumi can do within her own ambit, within her own circle of influence at this point, that can positively benefit and change, if possible, the situation with her husband and his negligence of his financial responsibilities with her husband and his negligence of his financial responsibilities within the family, regardless of if your husband was a police officer or not, because sometimes it's not even a function of the amount of money he's paid or the amount of money he earns. A good amount of the time, it's also dependent on the person, on the individual, on the husband. Sometimes you can earn a lot of money and you can have like side chicks outside. I don't like the term side chicks, but it's a popular term and it's just basically hits the nail on the head in reference to what it is that I'm talking about right now. He can have extramarital affairs with all these other people, and he can be paying bills outside, and he can be doing all these other things, investing in other people's lives, giving them the view that he is generous and can do all of these things, but he's not bringing any money home. Now, this is for somebody who has more financial wherewithal, who earns more, who can do more with money, but chooses not to. Now, in Kalumi's specific case, what is your advice tonight? I do. Thank you for calling. Who am I speaking with? Agatha from Magboro. Thank you for calling.
From
Matogon. Pardon me. From Matogon. How are you doing today? I hope you had a good day.
I'm fine.
Awesome. All right. Agatha, what do you think about Pelumi's story? What can she do?
My advice to Pelumi is that let Pelumi go to work. Your husband is police officer.
Yes.
Let him go to the station that your husband is working, and let the DPO that is there, and let the DPO know what is going on for our family. Because the man is embarrassing himself by
okay. So you're saying she should get them to interfere in the matter and possibly see if you can get him to change.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that will actually change anything?
Yes.
Do you think that will actually change anything?
It can change because the man is not, you don't know in work now. As a police officer, he's not training children. In fact, I don't know.
Thank you so much, Agatha. Thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
This was Nathaniel's initial idea people are buying into. Agatha basically echoed that same point of view, that she can talk to his superior, the DPO, whoever his direct superior is, and they can influence the situation by getting him to change, confronting him, making him see the error of his ways, and possibly just getting him to effect a change in that aspect of his life, particularly where his children are involved. I was talking about the quality of the man himself as regards contributing financially to the family. Every man wants to be able to say that he did something for his family. So it does not look good on any man who does not contribute financially. There was a story about a situation where this woman did very well and she was posting and thanking her mother for all her support, all her heroic efforts, and all of that, and did not thank her father in the post. He got offended and flipped. And she responded that he never really contributed to their family or to the well-being of the children because she, the mother, did everything. In that kind of situation, how do you then say that he did anything? And this is very similar, or that is very similar to Pelimi's story tonight, which is why we're asking, what can she do? Hello, good evening. Hello? All right. 11 minutes past the hour of 9, past the hour of 10, 11 minutes past 10 on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. In case you're just joining us, this is Adult Conversations. My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajama. And here in Adult Conversations, we discuss real life issues and we talk about matters relating to the heart. This evening, this is a story from Pelumi. Pelumi is saying, my name is Kwelimi. I'm 35 and a food seller. My husband is 38 and a police officer. We have 3 children. My husband is very negligent. He rarely comes home and he doesn't take care of the kids. He doesn't know how they feed or go to school. He blames it on the poor salary he gets. His problem is management. I have told him to support with the little he has, but he doesn't listen. Please, what do I do? That's the story tonight. So the different spheres to this particular story, and I would like to outline what I think some of them are. My husband is very negligent. He rarely comes home. Now, he rarely comes home does not directly link to his negligence in terms of finances, in terms of money. He rarely comes home does not directly link to his money attitudes or the fact that he doesn't contribute towards the family. If he doesn't contribute towards the family, that's one thing. But him rarely coming home is a whole other business. So we need to talk about that. He doesn't take care of the kids, and that's the part we've been repeating. The fact that he doesn't contribute financially to the house or to the kids. He doesn't know how they feed or he doesn't know how to go to school. He blames it on the poor salary he gets. Now, this is the third part. I have told him to support with the little he has, but he doesn't listen. Please, what do I do? Now, the first part is that he rarely comes home. She did say he's negligent. She said, I'm sure she said that just by way of conversation to give us a perspective of her husband's approach towards things within the family. So she's saying he rarely comes home. And that is one thing. There are a host of reasons why he could possibly not be coming home that have literally nothing to do with money. Also, there are a host of reasons why he's not coming home that have everything rather to do with money. And then the second part, which is the lack of financial responsibility or the negligence of financial responsibility, which is what she mentions. And then the third part is she has told him, so this is a conversation that has been had possibly repeatedly. She has told him to support with the little that he has, but he doesn't listen. It's one thing to not have enough. It's another thing to be told to support with the little that you have, and you're not listening. Why are you not listening? What do you think is responsible for this? What are your thoughts? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Turn down the volume of your radio, please. Turn it off completely for me, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you better. What's your name or where are you calling
Good
from?
evening.
Good evening.
My name is Juliet. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Juliet from Ikorodu. Great to hear from you. Juliet, are you a first-time caller?
Yes, I am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for calling. You're very welcome. All right, Juliet, are you familiar with this situation, and what is your advice to Pelumi?
Well, for me, I'm a woman. What I would say for him coming home late, I say he has a maybe side chick outside, and we know all these ladies outside. They are willing to tell a man how to control his own home. It might be from what the lady is telling him to do, not as in collecting his own salary from him, not allowing him to bring the money, or not even letting him to take care of the children at home. That means he has a side chick outside. What my advice for her is, she should meet, as in she should go to her husband's office and report. My dad is a military man, because there was a time that happened to my elder sister. My dad had to take the case to her husband's office. So they had to share the salary, like twice of what he's collecting. They give the wife half of the money, and let me say, like, she collected 50% of his salary.
On a monthly
you
basis?
Understand? So she should go.
Is this on a monthly basis? Is this every month?
Yes, every month.
Every month since she reported. Every month since she reported.
Yes.
Okay.
They will tell her this is the amount they are going to be paying her, because she has children and he is not taking responsibility of the kids. So he's trying to live. He has children and he is not taking responsibility of the kids. So he's trying to leave everything for her, because she's working. You know, men of nowadays, they prefer their wife doing everything at home. So if she goes to the office, to her husband's office, and report her to the maybe PO, from there the man will take it serious and then split his salary into two and be giving her half of it. That is what they did to my own sister. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Juliet. Thank you for calling. Very interesting take there from Juliet. And Juliet is telling us that she supports Ojediran's and Nathaniel Ojediran's perspective to go and report to his superior. She gave an instance of her sister that has been in this situation, even though this is the military and not the police, but it's still relatively within the same parastatals. So she's saying that the verdict or the judgment at the time was that her sister would get 50% of her husband's salary, of the sister's husband's salary. So of whatever it is that he earns at the end of the month, she gets 50% of it to use to take care of the family, because he's not doing what he's supposed to do. And that's what has been the case since she reported. Now, I asked if this has been the case since you reported. She answered yes. So she's saying if Pelumi can do this, they may not exactly get the same verdict or the same judgment or the same follow-up process, but they may get similar attention that can yield similar results. To a large extent is the well-being of the children. And the more we understand that, the faster we understand that, the simpler we get to the point where we can take decisions or give advice. Let me put it that way, give advice on this subject, knowing that there are 3 lives at stake here. There are 3 human beings who need to survive, who need to be educated properly, who need to be given a good start in life. And if their father is not doing it, their mother needs to step up to the plate. And she's saying she's been doing it. She's been doing it because he doesn't even know how it works. And these things have been going on. So she's been doing it, but she also still needs support. It's like somebody that earns a good amount of money and you're still offering them extra money. They're not going to turn it down. they're not going to turn it down. They're going to say, oh, thank you, provided they can give you good service in exchange for it, or it's a gift. Nobody turns money down. Nobody turns money down. Most people do not turn money down. So when you can get support, particularly from your partner, the father of your children, every woman, regardless of how much she earns, needs that support. If it's not coming in how do they say that? If it's not coming in cash, it has to come in kind. If it's not coming in cash, it has to come in kind. The same way some husbands are the ones who shoulder all the financial responsibility of the home, leaving the wives to focus on the children and just taking care of the family in general. It's the same way, like it or not, believe it or not, some women shoulder the financial responsibility of the home. And they trust their husbands to just be emotional supports, physical supports, to just be there, to be that huge support system that they need, taking care of the home front, taking care of the family, making sure that everything's okay, monitoring possibly the business end of things without actually getting into the financial nitty-gritty of things. It's not as common as the woman who does this, but yes, there are situations like this. So I'm saying if he's not contributing in cash, he should be able to contribute in kind. But this does not sound like the case with Belumi's husband, because she said he rarely comes home. He rarely comes home links to a number of things. And I know I did say side chicks at the beginning, but that could possibly not be the case. But also, that could be the case. There's nothing to rule out at this point, because we need to understand that the lives of children are important here. So if we can get Belumi's husband in the right direction, if we can get him to toe the right line for the benefit of the children, Belumi will be all right. She'll be all right. Because the truth of the matter is that may sound a little bit blunt. And as much as I've said that women need that support, she's 35, he's 38. They are not an aged couple. There's still a lot of learning and relearning and unlearning that can be done. But I said she'll be all right, because I'm sure even to her priority will be the children. But she'll be all right doesn't mean that she should have to be all right when she can do better. If there's a choice between good and great, why will anyone settle for good when I can get great? So the fact that I'll be all right, it's similar to when Nigerians say, oh, we move. We move. I know say my husband did anyhow, but we move. It's a determination, but at the same time, it's laced with discomfort and regret and just complete resignation to a certain fate that does not necessarily suit their desires. That does not necessarily suit their desires. So at the end of the day, when people say we move, or she'll be all right, or I'll be all right, it doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't necessarily mean that they are in this space that they desire to be. It just means that they understand that regardless of the space they're in, they have to keep moving. So Belumi will be all right, but she can do better. She can do better than all right if she has a supportive husband. So how do we get her husband to support her and their family? If this has been your reality at any point, whether or not police officer, whether or not small salary, because trust me, I know there are men who earn a lot more, and their families and their wives and children still do not see this money. And then it's weird when you hear from people outside that, oh, your husband did this for me. Your husband is paying so bills for my family. Or your husband just helps me get my son a job somewhere. Or your husband he just does all these generous things outside. But when it comes to within the home, he doesn't do enough. It makes you wonder, what is it that we're doing wrong? Or why is it that we're getting it wrong? So I'm saying it doesn't necessarily have to do with the level of income. A lot of the time, it has to do with the quality of the man. 3 things: he rarely comes home. He is negligent towards his financial responsibilities to the family. And 3, she has spoken to him that I know you earn little, but even though you earn little, still try to contribute something. But he doesn't listen. What does that say about him? And what does that say about their marriage and about him being a father? So much to ask, a number of layers to this particular subject tonight. But I'm open to hearing from you. I'm open to hearing from you. If you've been in these shoes before, if you've been the woman who has shouldered a lot of financial responsibility without any support from a husband, and for some reason, how you hacked the code, I say that because Palumi looks like she's tried, but it's not working. So obviously, if there's somebody out there who has hacked this code, please cut soap for Palumi. Cut some soap for Palumi so that Palumi can actually just change this situation, change the financial dynamic within her household. If the roles have been reversed in your life, if the role has been reversed in the sense that it is the husband who's doing everything without any support from the woman, and you know that she can support but she chooses not to, let us know what you did about it. If the situation is still the same thing, if it changed at any point, and how you overcame it if you did. Because truly, Pelumi needs constructive advice so she can take this to her family, implement some of these pieces of advice, and hope for the best and eventually get the best at the end of the day. Not for her this time, or not just for her. Let me put it that way because it benefits her as well. Not just for her, but for her children as well. The number to call 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. That's the number to call. 07000 917 917. If you choose that you'd rather send a text message or a WhatsApp message, the number to do that is 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Emilia Elijah is also saying, my advice to her is to go to his office and make a complaint at the police department. And I'm sure that they will do the needful, which is to pay her half his salary. Elijah, thank you for that message. I'm thinking she's linking this to Nathaniel's story, or Nathaniel's piece of advice earlier on. 27 minutes past 10, your Women Radio WFM 91.7, and of course, Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Bear in mind that all our stories are real. There are no fake stories here. We don't do this, is a no fake zone, no fake zone, no fake story zone. So we don't give fake stories. These are real life situations that have applied or are applying to real life people. So we need real life advice. We need real life practical advice. Let's not give theoretical advice that at the end of the day, it's just floating in the air and then there's no action to back some of these pieces of advice up. Let us give practical advice, which is why I've asked that if you have been in this situation, be you a huge level of negligence towards his or her financial responsibility, particularly towards the children, then you need to let us know how that situation played out. Is it still playing out that way? Have you fixed this situation? Was it fixed? How was it fixed? And how did you end up moving forward? So that Balimi can take one or two lessons and it benefits her and her family to a large extent positively. So please call in to contribute to 7,917 175 6537. Off of Facebook, this is Winnie Oladapo saying, report him to his highest superior at the station. I am very sure that he will adjust. Oluwaseun Emmanuel says, drunkenness and bad friends won't allow him to be wise. Adibe Chindindu says, report him to the authorities. He works with human. Just basically report him to the authorities. Thank you very much for those messages. Please keep them coming in on our social media at WFM917, on Facebook at WFM917, and Instagram, Twitter at WFM917. We're actually live on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, pardon me. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to watch in and see how the conversation is playing out, this would be a good time to go on Facebook or YouTube and type in at WFM917. And you can see the studio setup, you can see how the conversation is going, and you can actually feel better the ambience that we have in the studio right now on Adult Conversations. 07000 917 917. That's the number to call. 0703 175 6537. How do we get this man who is not responsive in terms of finances within his own household to become financially responsible? Bellamy says, I think he can't manage funds. I think he's not managing his money well. So when he says it's because I earn little, Bellamy says, no, I think, I mean, that could be a factor, but that is not what I think. What I do think is that you can't manage your money. You may not earn all the world's best salaries, but you still earn a living. You earn a living. Bellamy is saying, don't talk about funds. So what do we do? What does she do? Hello, good evening. My people, my people, my people, text messages and WhatsApp messages are the way to go. I know that the network is seeming uncooperative at this point, but let's not give up. Let's not give up. Send your comments or thoughts to 0703 175 6537. I would love to have conversations. I would love to take calls. But if the network is posing an issue, you can just reach me by sending a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Again, 0703 175 6537. That's the number to send a text or a WhatsApp message to. 35 years of age. I don't know how long she's been married for. 3 children. Her husband is 38. So he's not significantly old either. Do you think Pelumi can last the test of time in this marriage with her husband being this level of unsupportive? Does that sound like a tenable reality? I put this out there because it's important that we think about it. We do always believe in open and honest communication, but we also believe it's sacred and it's important. But at the same time, we also believe that things change. Is there anything that we can do about it? Now, that is what this conversation is about tonight. We've outlined the things that are wrong, things that can be better. So let's not just focus on why is she not doing this? Why does she have children? I mean, why does she have 3 children? Let's not focus on all that. All those are not exactly the real meat of the story tonight. The real meat of the story is that she has 3 children. I wish I could say that 50 times. Pelumi has 3 children. She is a mother of 3 children. Oh, if you do not understand what that means, you probably don't have. Children come with a lot of financial responsibility, a lot. That is why people say, don't have babies if you're not ready. But we're not talking babies now. We're talking about 3 children. Well, I don't know how young they are, but they're still children because the couple themselves are 35 and 38. Yes, they could have married when they were 25 and 28, but we don't know that. And we don't know when they did get married. What we do know for a fact is that they have 3 children who, according to to Belumi now, the children are not doing very well. They're not doing very badly, pardon me. They're not doing very badly because she's taking care of them. She's sending them to school. She is putting food on the table, shelter over their heads, clothes on their backs. She's doing all of this. But she's also saying, pardon me, that her husband, the man she promised to do life with, the man who promised to do life with her, The man who promised to be there for her through thick and thin, in moments of abundance, in moments of poverty. How do they say? For rich to have and to hold, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, and all the other vows that come along with getting married. But when push comes to shove and it's time to man up, he has a slight challenge with tonight. So why not call in, send a text message, call in 07000 917 917. Then you can send in a text message 0703 175 6537. 25 minutes to 11 on your Women Radio WFM 91.7. I am so interested in anyone who has been in these shoes before, because we like to say that here at Women Radio, we take very importantly the perspectives, ideals, beliefs, realities of women in our neighborhood, in our community, in Nigeria generally. But we also understand that there are situations where it just stops being healthy for the woman and she needs to take care of herself so that she can take care of the children. Now, this is not to say in any way that there's no way forward, because there will always be a way forward, provided the parties responsible are willing to work it out. But this doesn't sound like the case of Belumi's husband, because Belumi said, quote and unquote, let me read. She says, I have told him to support with the little he has, but he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. So she says, what do I do? So what do I do? What does 090902 562 5455? But just for simple ease, let us stick to the number 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. That's the number to call. 0703 16. Please try again if you can. Hello, good evening. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you tonight?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from? $175 to give some much needed advice to Pelumi tonight. So she's saying she's aware of the fact that her husband doesn't make a lot. Why not? Why does he not listen? Why does he not listen? Pardon me. Why does he not listen? Is there something that could be? What are your thoughts? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Turn down the volume of your radio for me, please.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. What's your name and where are you calling from?
It's Prince. I'm calling from Marlborough. I'm a first-time caller.
Prince, thank you very much for joining us this evening on Adult Conversations. I believe you've been listening to the story so far.
Yeah.
So please tell me, you're a man, and I'm dying to know what you think about your responsibility. What should his wife do? What should Pelumi do?
Okay. My advice is actually.
What should his wife do? What should Pelumi do?
Okay. My advice is I grew up in military base in the barracks, and the easy way out is what she needs to do is she should go to the office of the man. Thank God is a personnel. So it's even easily solved. She should go to the office and complain to the superior. When she complains to the superior, so what they will do is that they will call the man to order. Understand? When they'll order. Understand? When they'll call the man to order, they will ask the woman, what is her feeding limit? She will tell them. Then even the rent, such people, even their rentage, sometimes they cannot even pay rent. So there's a particular amount that they'll be deducting, maybe for the rent, for the school fees. Even anytime there is maybe school fees comes up, what they normally do is that she'll go to the office and tell her, okay, I'm going to pay school fees in the next 2 months. What they'll do is that apart from the feeding money, they will deduct money for the school fee for those children. Maybe in like these 2-3 months, they'll be deducting a certain part of money they'll be keeping. When it's time to pay school fees, they'll call her and give it to her. So it's a very simple thing. She doesn't need to do problems for anything. Understand? As long as she's doing her best these days, I don't know what we're actually looking for. When you already have somebody who is a lady who is doing something, your woman is your helpmate. It's helping you. It's not her responsibility to be doing all these things. And since it has come to this, it's a very simple thing. The man is a person. Go to the office, he complains, he deducts everything at the end of the day. Anything that is left for him, everything at the end of the day. Maybe they are paying 50,000 naira. By the time they deduct up to like 5,000, you'll be left with 16,000. They'll give it to him. Let's go and spend 16,000 with his side chick. So that is just it. They have three kids already. So what is the woman looking for again? At least her joy should lie in those kids and the other things. Not bothering herself. Sometimes she doesn't come home. If it doesn't come, that's his business. What they're looking for, the main thing is they've already gotten it. But since the man is not living to his responsibility, there's always a way out. So I just asked her, my own opinion is, let her go to her office, the office of the man, and lay her complaint. That will be easily be solved without any issue. So that's
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you,
Prince, for calling. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay. Prince says, again, talk to your superior. Talk to his superior. Get him to understand the situation. Get them to fashion an arrangement that works for you and your family. And in that way, you'll be able to get some money from your husband directly or indirectly as a result of conversations following the reporting of him to his superior. But Prince said something that I felt deserved some addressing. This woman is 35 years old. You can't say because she has 3 kids, she's focused on all her energies, all her joy, all her pain, all her hurts, all her struggles, her frustrations. 5. I don't know how long she married, or how long ago she married, or how long she's been married for. That's what I mean to say. I don't know how long she's been married for, but something else to a large extent within that marriage will go the way it's supposed to go, because women don't particularly gravitate towards men who don't fulfill financial responsibility, particularly not because it's a monetary thing, but because it doesn't show that you care. It doesn't show that you're invested in the lives of my wife and my children. It doesn't show. And when a woman senses that you're not interested, you're not invested in the well-being of her and your children, to a large extent, she passes on. If the worst case scenario or the best case scenario rather, is that they have 2 years apart of each of these children, even if it's 1 year apart, that's 3 children. That just tells you that they've been married for a little bit of time. If this woman has been going through this for so long, to even bring it to radio to have the conversation and to seek advice, then that tells you that there's significantly something to be worried about. There's significantly something to be worried about. So this is 15 minutes to 11. Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. Still taking calls on Pelimi's story tonight for you. And I would like to hear your response. Pelimi, definitely would also like to hear your response as well. Have you been through this before? How did you overcome it? What did you have to do? And are you in a new relationship now? Or what exactly is going on with you if you've been through this? So let us know if this is something that Pelimi can apply to her current situation so that it doesn't escalate to your point and maybe she can get lessons from you. What are your thoughts on this? 917. The text line is 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Sending you how she's currently feeling. Talk to Pelumi to understand where it is that you're coming from and give us some good advice. I keep saying give us some good advice because Pelumi needs advice. Let us not forget that there are 3 children in the mix here. So when we're giving advice, let us take into consideration the fact that there are 3 innocent children who have nothing to do with this, but needs to be taken care of. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to Adult Conversations. Tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Olasukomi. I'm calling from Ikeja.
Kelvin Olasukomi from Ikeja. Thank you so much for calling. Are you calling me for the first time?
Yeah, this is my first time of calling.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I celebrate you. Thank you for joining me tonight on Adult Conversations. All right, so what do you think? What is your take and what should Pelumi do?
Okay, I think the best thing for us to do, according to the previous caller, what the previous caller said, they have to go to the office and meet a superior. Maybe I'm very sure of that because to take care of 3 kids is a lot for her. And they are just a very young woman.
She's 35, her husband is 38.
For her to be facing a lot at that age is something so much to take in. So I think the best thing for us to do is just go to the office and report the husband to the superior. That's just. But I think I have a question to ask.
Okay.
Is she interested in knowing what to do, or has she ever tried to sit her husband down and ask him what she did wrong, or maybe something, because I don't know, maybe there might probably be something she did to her husband that makes him to be behaving like that. I don't know, but I just think in my own perspective, maybe she should just try to sit her husband down and ask what's wrong. Because if it's something the husband has been taking care of before, I mean, if the husband has been doing his responsibility before and all of a sudden he stopped, there should probably be something wrong. If she has done that a couple of times, the best is for her to the best.
Thank you very much. Also coming. Thank you for calling. Remind me again where you're calling from.
From Ikeja.
From Ikeja. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Please keep calling. We'd like to hear more from you.
All right.
Thank you. Your call his superior. Get him to talk to them and things along those lines. He also pointed out the fact that if this is something that he had not been doing before, I remember asking this question, but of course I did not get a response. Please, we need to work on that. When your story is being profiled, please make sure to listen so that we can get feedback. All right, moving on. He says he asked if she has engaged her husband in a conversation before, asking, what did I do wrong? Why do I deserve this? Why are you doing this? But I'm inclined to think that even if there's something wrong that he's expressing his discontent or hatred for or a bad feeling for, it shouldn't be to the point where you take it out on the children, because that's basically what this is. You're taking it out on the children. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Hello, good evening.
Okay.
From E4.
Me, Abby?
Yes, calling me.
Maybe. I said that I think maybe she's living with peace, in peace with the husband. Men of these days, they used to change. You understand? And maybe there is something. You understand? But it's not a man trying to see another thing. You understand? And you don't used to speak. Maybe he has mixed with the bad friends. There is so many people outside like to spoil it. Like what? If the man that he wants to run, which means he will think about you. It's not like you accept him. He will think it and
not relating with the wrong people that are giving him negative advice and is taking his toll on your life and the lives of your Radio WFM 91.7. I'm sure that Pelumi will be able to take a good advice, will be able to take some good advice and use it to make an informed decision from regardless of the situation or in the situation that she's in. Again, on behalf of Pelumi, I say thank you again. Join me again tomorrow, same time, same station, same program, 9 to 11 p.m., same program, Adult Conversations. Thank you to the producer, Taiwo Adelaye, the engineer on duty, Blessing Enuma. My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajama. Good evening.
The name says it all.
Women Radio 91.7. Radio 91.7.
The name says it all.
Women Radio 91.7.
I know love sometimes hurts, but it's over now. 'Cause when you are around, everything just works. Baby, when you need a shoulder and your shoulder, even when it's getting cold, I'll keep you warmer. You don't really know how much that you do mean to me. We'll be together. It's time forever. No matter the weather. It's time forever. We'll be together. It's time forever. No matter the weather. This time forever. You don't even have to try to sweep me off my feet.